Lior, welcome to Mitiga Mic.
Thank you. Hello.
It's so great to have you on. Let's just start at the beginning. First off, who are you and what do you do?
Oh, okay. So I'm Lior. I'm 32 years old, married to Matan, and in the past almost 8 months, I'm a mother to Ori.
Yay.
Yeah. And I'm working at Mitiga, part of the Mitiga product group, as product manager the past 3.5 years, a bit more, and as product manager in general in the past 5 or 6 years. Um, that's basically my professional at the moment.
No, that's
Uh,
great.
while not
Well,
working.
let's talk a little bit about sort of pre Mitiga then, and we'll jump back into this as well. But tell me about university. What did you study, and kind of how did that shape your thinking in terms of what career path you wanted to go down?
Okay, so I studied in this industrial engineering and management. It was 4 years study in Ben Gurion University in Beersheba here in Israel. And how it shaped my career, I think in many aspects, actually, in terms of the people I want to work with and the people I know in the university, that made me understand what environment I want for me to work in. And I think I came to university very few alternative of what roles I want to do in the industry. So it exposed me for a few domains like data science, like machine learning, um, that I wasn't exposed to them before. So I think university opened my mind to a very different domains, but the roles I wanted to do in the industry were like I think were decided even before.
Mm, mm. So it sounds like you're almost like a secret computer science major posing as an industrial engineering major. But no, that's great. And what I think is so interesting about our space is people do come from so many different paths, right? Not everyone's a CS major or a computer engineering major. I've even seen people come from areas like philosophy and history and things like that, especially on the intelligence side. But you did something that's pretty unique. You worked part time at the Israeli CERT while at university, which is really cool. It actually, uh, I think it's probably a dream job for a lot of people that are interested in security that are university. So, how did that all come about, and what exactly did you do for CERT?
Okay, so I'll start from the end. I was supposed to start as kind of a PMO, kind of a project manager officer. But as time passes, I shifted because of my interest in in analytics. I shifted to a role of BI development or BI analytics. But the experience, well, actually, I wasn't the greatest student. My grades weren't great, and I felt that I need a different sense of success.
Mm,
And working was that solution for me. I started to work there um, because a friend of mine that worked there in a different branch, and she told me there is a very interesting job in the Israeli cert that was actually in Beersheba next to the university. And I decided to do the interview there, and it sounded very interesting. And the first 2 3 months were a bit challenging because the contest switching between studies, notebooks, mathematics, tests, and things like that to a different platforms, people, goals. Everything was different. But after I think 3 months, it was the best solution for me. It was the best way for me to get a sense of success and actually going back to a world that I really know, which is working with people, managing projects, leading bigger project. So it was. I felt like it's the best fit for me. It was a great experience. The people were great. The challenges were very interesting. And since the moment I did it, I recommend every student that talks to me to do the same and combine work and studies because eventually it came out. Let's say when I was looking my the position after the Israeli cert, it turns out the best Like employers are looking for experience more, they look for grades. So it turned out to be the best thing I did for myself during studies.
That's I think that's such great advice. So many people get hung up on grades, and as they should, because it's so important to get into university, and you're, basically the first 18, 20 plus years of your life, you're being graded on things, trying to figure out, how to get to that next level. But that work experience is so critical.
Yeah.
And it reminds me, I live in the Bay Area, and I was in San Francisco the other day, and I saw a Lamborghini, and on the back of it, the license plate said 2.0 GPA. And I thought that was pretty telling. Grades are important, but man, life experience and actually getting out there and doing it is just so valuable. Um, but in addition to university and working in the CERT, which what a fantastic combination again. Of course, you had military service and you worked in the intelligence unit. Can you share a little bit about what you did there?
Yeah, sure. So first, I think it was one of the most significant experiences in my life, in terms of peoples, in terms of opportunities. I was young. I was 18. I came to a huge unit with tons of different roles and different type of people. So I think that was an amazing experience. But in terms of professional role, I led a team who did a lot of everything. I was in somewhere in between technical parts. I worked with developers who developed intelligence platforms like SaaS
Hmm.
platform, for example, but also worked with people who were doing a pure intelligence work. So it kind of reminds what I do today as a product manager, but I had no single product, and we were designing a very specific aspect of intelligence platforms. So I was somewhere in between, and our work was, we also had operational work, our day to day work that was very intensive, but I also had the aspect of strategic working. We were in charge on designing a specific aspect in intelligence units, and it required the long term thinking of how this aspect will be in those type of platforms. So I had a lot of everything. I worked with different types of people, different types of projects, different ages, different roles. Um, and I think the almost 4 years I spent there, I learned every day something new, met different person. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, and I think it was like almost more than 10 years ago, and I still remember it as one of the best thing I did.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's interesting. We'll call it pre-career, even though maybe you could argue it's even early career. But your work at CERT, your work at university, in the intelligence unit as well in the Israeli military, you seem to have this combination of people and technology, tactical and strategic. You seem to be a hub to all these different spokes throughout. And did that just kind of happen that you found yourself, oh, I'm good with tech and I'm good with people, and that seems to really be my value add. Did that just was there a light bulb moment, or did it just kind of sneak up on you?
I think I realized that as time passed, I tried different things. I met different type of people, and I think that from time to time I understand what I like best. And I think I'm still learning. Yeah, I'm still shaping my roles, and I think it was the different experience and that allowed me to better understand where I'm good at.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. You found something you're great at and pursued that, and continue to grow. So tell me a little bit about your early career. So university, CERT, your military services behind you. Now you're out in the big wide world. What was next for you?
What is my next challenge? What my next step?
Yeah, what was your early career like after that? What type of projects or organizations did you work on? What types of roles?
So I think my first position was actually a QA. I was after the army. I wanted to start with something to get into the tech environment here in Israel, which is, I think, this the ideal place to work at. I was started as QA and then find out my love to data. So I moved. I did a transition to a more analytic role, and then I realized this is one of the domains I want to put my time at. So after working there, started my studies, worked as a BI developer in the CERT, Later on, moved to a product analytic role, and from that moment on, I started my shift to product management.
Okay.
So this is was a bit my journey from just from very starting position as QA to the world of product management.
It seems like QA and IT support are common areas where people you kind of have to do it. And maybe you love it, and that's great. A lot of people don't, but it's like your entry point in, and you kind of have to like earn your stripes there, I guess, for
Yeah,
a little bit.
something
And
like that.
yeah, yeah. No, that's great to hear that. Yeah, and if there was, let's say, there's some young people, getting ready to go to university, or maybe they're early on in their university, and there's a lot of talk about AI, and is computer science even a viable field for people to major in? Should they, get a liberal arts degree instead, learn how to code on the side, leveraging AI or vibe coding or whatever? Being that you're not too far removed from those days, would you say it's still beneficial for somebody to pursue a CS degree and do these things, or do you think AI is going to fundamentally take those types of jobs away?
Well, I think that's a tough one. I'm pretty sure that AI will take some of the capabilities, and people have to use it as a tool in the job. I see it in Matan's day-to-day job. He's a software engineer, and all the engineers are learning how to use those tools. They're leveraging this to their jobs. But I think studies give you more than just knowledge. They
Yeah.
give you a lot of skills that I think we need in this type of industry, like self-learning, communicating with people. I think that specific in my position, this is super important. Um, and even though you can do some kind of side project, I think that learning the theoretical parts behind everything, AI is not just a conversation with ChatGPT. It's also statistic. It also regression models. It tons of things that are the basic of this um, domain. And I think coming with this type of understanding to the market position you on a different place. But everyone has its own way to his dream position. So I cannot say what's the best thing, but I feel that even after I managed a lot of projects in the army, and after working in a startup company, doing those 4 years of studies gave me a lot.
Yeah, that makes good sense. And to your point, it's the hard and the soft skills, right? It's a combination of things that, AI is going to augment. AI is probably going to replace some things, but there's still a important need for sure. So I tend to agree with you there. So let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about Mitiga. So what drew you to Mitiga? What was sort of the, how'd you end up here?
Actually, a friend. We worked together in the army. We also friends from home, and I really appreciate him personally and professionally. Actually, I remember this. I was parking my car late. I was late somewhere, and he told me, "We are looking for product manager in Mitiga. Think about it. Call me back." And I was like, "Cybersecurity? Okay, let's think about it." And as I said, I really appreciate him in terms of personality. So I said, if he's there, probably there are probably good people there. So I have to go and listen. But it's not just that. It came in a point of time that I wanted to change my position. I wanted to shift to a different domain, which would be more, let's call it techie, more technological environment, more technological changes. Because in the previous place I worked in, I felt I felt the challenges were not technological enough for me as a product manager. We had a team of data science that um, enjoyed the work very much, but uh, for me it wasn't enough, and I wanted to take the next step with my position as product manager. And it came exactly in time. The Mitiga had still have amazing idea, great people, tough challenges. The cybersecurity is an endless word, and PMs like problems to solve. And I think this domain has new problem every day, and I like it. type of customers is different, and this is what I was looking for. And the rest is history, I think.
No, no, that's fantastic. And for again, for maybe people that are listening to this that aren't as familiar with what a product manager does, maybe share a little bit about, kind of what your day to day is like, and what your past experiences, everything that you've gone through, had sort of prepared you for this type of role.
Hmm. So, as product manager in Mitiga, I started, as I said, 3.5 years ago, while Mitiga still had type of services she provided. So my first product, let's call it, my first goal was to productize the threat hunting service. We tried to make it more of a product rather than a service, and it came up eventually as a little bit of both, mainly product. And one of the threat hunting solution evolved to be our threat detection solution, actually, which I at the beginning I led it with my team. And then we have then it evolved to be the CDR solution that we have today. um, while additional thing I did in Mitiga was developing the managed solution actually on top of the CDR. So this is, give or take, the journey I did in Mitiga. Nowadays, the entire product group is leading the CDR solution mainly. Each one of us is responsible for different features. And our day to day as product manager looks like, I think, like a chaos first, but in a good way. I think we're
Maybe even at second and third, but okay,
yeah,
we'll say at first.
even 10. Yeah, exactly. But it's a managed chaos.
Yeah.
We work with engineers. We translate the needs we see in the industry. We translate the solution we think that there are for problems. We translate it to requirements. We work with engineers to make sure they understand the problem as well. Um, we make sure that they develop um, not exactly, not the best, let's call it, the best engineering solution, but the solution that will serve our customers. So we are working with engineers. We're working with customer success to make sure that our customers are happy with the products, that they can adapt it. We're working with marketing. We're working with management to make sure that our solutions and features align with Mitiga's goals. We work with I think we work with everyone, uh, and in each one of the position, each one of the people, we have a different, let's call it, different mutual task. I mean, we're not managing our own groups, but we're leading different tasks with different people. And I think this is what I like the most in this position. You have to talk like 10 different languages a day. If it's Python, if it's, I don't know, a customer announcement with marketing, if
Yeah.
this is talking to a customer, so you need to better understand his word. But it's a chaos, but it's a chaos I like.
And it's again, it's such a great progression. You've had, it probably doesn't feel like it when you're in it, but hearing you tell your story from the early days in university on to here, it really has been a natural evolution of your ability to straddle all these different lines. And the way you said it is much more eloquent, speaking different languages from Python to marketing and everything in between. So in your copious spare time, let's pretend that you've built a time machine and you went back to speak to a younger you in order to prep her for what life has in store. What advice would you give?
Wow, I have tons, and I'm actually really trying to put some of my time talking with students. Um, but I think that, going back to the friend who brought me to Mitiga, he told me, surround yourself with people you want to work with people you are comfortable to say, I don't know, I didn't understand, explain to me. And I always tell people, be part of community, no matter what community it is. Product manager, I think product manager has very nice communities. We like to talk a lot all the time. So all communities are very like, there's a lot of information. You always have someone to talk with, to ask questions, to consult with. So I think my advice is, talk to people, ask questions all the time, say I don't know. If you didn't understand, ask. Ask people to explain to you, and surround yourself with people you are comfortable to learn from, and try to be the most stupid person in the room. This is
Yeah.
the best way to learn.
That's awesome. That's great advice. Well, Lior, thanks so much for being a part of this episode of Mitiga Mic.
For having me.